walking up on the scene. She has been stuck on the move, but that's no reason to fret. She's not a nightmare no more, so buckle down and get set. She's coming gracing the subject, she ain't leaving no choice. She's gonna blow you all back with her equestrian voice. So cover all of your fears and stow away all your fright. The Lunar Princess is back to bring the nightmares tonight.
Living in the past, so you won't last without the proper care. The royal farewell and an animate spell, you won't have long to prepare.
Hello everyone, it's T-Bone the Ranting Brony, and guess what? Yep, I'm in a ranting mood. And tonight I want to tackle a topic that most people think is rather bizarre. And no, it has nothing to do with politics or religion. Nope, this topic is actually shunned by both parties, that being cartoons. Yeah, you know, timeless animated pieces of artwork that warmed our hearts with happiness and joy. A form of artwork that took us into a magical world full of wonder and amusement and gave our childhoods a glimpse into a world we always dreamed of. Well, tonight, you're not going to see any of that. Now, why would I be ranting on cartoons? Well, let's focus on the main problem right here and now. Cartoons today do not follow the elements which such brilliant minds like Walt Disney laid the foundation for. By that I mean cartoons today offer us total garbage. The reason I say this is because what was once friendly and wholesome is now overrun with sexual, racial, and sometimes anti-religious undertones. And I'm here to point out each one of those. But before I tackle these three elements, I'd like to make mention of three of my favorite pieces of animation, that being Invader Zim, Beavis and Butthead, and Fritz the Cat. These three will not be mentioned as they conveyed a huge message to a more mature audience. So let's begin with the first one, sexuality. Now, when I say sexuality, you'll almost immediately say Ren and Stimpy. But believe me, there's more to it than just that show. And yes, I'm well aware of Rocko's Modern Life as well. What I'm getting at is shows that you normally see on Cartoon Network. I can't begin to count how many shows I've seen with either gratuitous nudity or sexual references within their shows. Seriously, do our children need to see that many asses on TV? Oh, and lest we forget, how many shows today can get away with mentions of sexuality, homosexuality, among many others? Well, let me tell you, a whole lot of them can. All it takes for a show to get away with a sexual innuendo is for them to not mention the following words: dick, cock, cunt, pussy, tits, asshole, fucking, cum, jizz, spooge, etc., etc., etc. If they can get away without saying a single one of those words, then they can avoid censorship without a single bleep or blurred image. That's how bad it's become, folks. And this just isn't for new cartoons. Oh no, because I've seen it done on Looney Tunes a few times as well, especially with their newer movies. But I guess I shouldn't complain too much because, like Hollywood and the media companies always say, sex sells. So on to our next topic, racism. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, oh shit, he's not going to use racial slurs, is he? Well, let's play a little game then. For every time you hear me say something that sounds like a sexual or racial slur, or anything that sounds racist like that, take a drink. It can be whatever drink you want, just drink. Now, if you're like me, you've probably seen several cartoons in the public domain, and most of these cartoons would never be seen on television again due to their extreme use of racism. Take, for instance, Bugs Bunny. He's been seen in several shorts that feature Bugs Bunny involved with black characters and all that like. Hell, there was even a public service announcement during World War II where he actually put on blackface. Now, during the 1940s and the 1950s, this was common practice. But by the 1980s and 1990s, many people started taking offense to these sort of cartoons. And because of this, these cartoons are forbidden to be shown on television. Seriously, guys, look up The Forbidden 13. You're going to be quite surprised at what you find. So here's my gripe on this whole entire thing. Racism in cartoons is just fucking retarded. If the animator wants to include black people, let him. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Seth MacFarlane already did a cartoon like that. My bad. Well, actually, not only was it alright to involve racial profiling for characters, but at the same time, it was alright to include other minorities as well. Look up the cartoon Daffy the Commando and see for yourself. Apparently, it was alright for Nazis to be profiled, but not black people. Hell, in one other cartoon it talked about beating quote-unquote the Japs in World War II. See, it's not all about black people, now is it? I'm waiting for the day they decide to go after Arabic people, considering the wars we've been in all their countries. Oh wait, that's right, Seth MacFarlane. Well, continuing on. Now you want to talk religious undertones? I'll give you two names that have come up over and over again when it comes to this topic. The Simpsons and South Park. Now don't get me wrong, I love The Simpsons back during seasons 1 through 12, but the way they went with religion in the show went way overboard. Look at the episode where Homer invokes God's wrath on the world. Why did this happen? Because Homer was using God like a personal butler. The thing that bothers me is the fact that because of that, most people actually follow suit and believe that's exactly how God works. I'm not a big Bible thumper, but come on! Just because Homer did it doesn't mean it'll work for you. Oh, but that's nothing. Look at South Park. They had Jesus Christ portrayed as a regular character on the show. I'm sorry, but doesn't that violate one of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not taketh the Lord thy God's name in vain? Like I said, I'm not a big Bible thumper, but I honestly believe you'd strike a nerve if you depicted the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as a character in an adult-oriented cartoon about foul-mouthed kids getting involved in various pop culture activities. Oh, and don't get me started on Satan and his butt-loving partner Saddam Hussein. Oh, going back to the previous topic on racism, let's go ahead and mention this special little tidbit, the events of September 11th. As tragic as this moment in American history was, needless to say, it's become one of the biggest pop culture phenomenons. And with that, the war on terror followed suit, along with Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. Would you believe all of these have been referenced in South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, and many others? They have! As a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom, I'm not one to say what is right or wrong and whether you should like it or not, but believe me when I say this, there may be some vets out there who would take great offense to this. And I know a lot of you would say, well, it's satirical humor. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Well, this is true. But what I'm saying is this. How would you like it if I made a cartoon slandering something you hold near and dear to your heart? Would you take offense? I thought so. So in closing, I've got this to say. Cartoons rely so much on pop culture that they've sold themselves out to sex, racism, and even controversial aspects like religion and war. To me, it's absolutely sad, because this is what kids today have to see. I can remember a time when animation had decent storylines and didn't need to dive into controversial topics, for instance, King of the Hill. And of course, being a child of the 80s and 90s, I also remember shows that taught kids morals and lessons about life and the world around them, like Nickelodeon's Doug, and of course Sonic SatAM, which taught us about the environment. It's too bad our children today can't get that same satisfaction. Well, right now, the only show I can think of with that same charm, moral comfort, and value is My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Despite the fact the show was made mostly for little girls, it's created a worldwide fan base and gives us that same moral comfort we once had before. Because let's face it, without that, cartoons are dead. I'm T-Bone the Ranting Brony saying, hey, keep it real.